and welcome to another tutorial session with the Paintology drawing app using my phone here. This was, I believe, yesterday's drawing. Can't really remember because I'm doing that on a daily basis at such a rate. People will think I'm mad or something. But anyway, that's the power of painting and drawing. Once you get into it, you can't stop, isn't it? So this is the paint of the Ferdinand Hodo, I believe, with the Kian Valley. So this is hangs in the National Art Museum in London, and it's considered one of the major pieces of art. So I picked this because this is actually my drawing I did from the reference image, which some of you will know. I use a technique called block coloring. So everything's about block coloring, or everything is about building your skills using block coloring and developing your understanding and expanding your understanding of tones and values. So this is the first part of the two parts today that we're going to try and tackle drawing that we're going to do. Let me go here and show you. This is the page you want to bookmark here. Paintology.com. That's what it is. It's the same app name, and it's Paintology.com. And then go just slightly below and you'll see this daily step-by-step video tutorial just below that Learn Draw banner. And then you'll come to this page. This is the actual page that has all the information regarding the tutorials that have been done to date and also anything that's upcoming. So right now we're on 23rd November. You can see here 9 GMT part 1 starts on the Paintology channel. You can see the two streams here, Paintology followed by hopping on to the next channel, Produce at 10 GMT. So two channels supporting painting and drawing on the Paintology app, and you can see go straight to the streams, Paintology and Produce here, and the reference image is here. So the idea is that you need to learn. You follow along with me if you can, yeah. But you can also equally watch me as I'm painting and drawing, and then learn from me, and then try it yourself, yeah. So there's lots of, yeah, I was right, the Kian Valley by Ferdinand Hodler. This is the one I did, the drawing. This was the reference image. See how close it was? The whole idea is acquiring the skills, yeah. And this was one I did prior to that. This is William Turner's The Dutch Boats in a Gale. You can see how I've managed to do a more of a stormy, a little more ferocious weather as compared to the William Turner's image. You see how tranquil that is a little bit? It's probably showing you that upcoming storm is on the way. But, I try to play with it, be a bit creative. It's the whole idea. Plenty of drawings to get you on. Look at that, all the way. Goes back all the way. So you got enough to get on with for several weeks, I would say. So if you're really interested in learning and drawing skills and techniques, not necessarily the digital tools, then you've come to the right place. Paintology. Why do you think traditional artists can take the same tools and take it so far? Have you ever wondered about that? It's not because they're born with this skill. That's total nonsense, right? They just kept their mind open and developed the skill set. The ones that you probably produce a blank right after doing a drawing and then not choose to learn how to go further. That's entirely of your making. So please don't blame the system or the skills or anything. Anyone can acquire skills as long as they've got legs and limbs and a sound mind. So just take that out of your head. And when you do come and draw that is offering something very different like this, you need to take any pre-assumptions about drawing digitally out of your head. So majority of you, well, please bookmark this page, so and then the other one I'd just like to go through is the paintology.quora.com. This is where I update daily activities, and you should follow me here. And I've got many drawings to keep you happy, keep you updated with all the things I do. Yeah, so this is my profile here. You can see I've answered over 1,400 questions related to digital. I'm pretty much of a prolific. This is the drawing we're doing today. I'm pretty much a prolific writer. I'm a poet as well. So if you think skills are confined to certain people, you're totally wrong. You can see here, this is the way I draw on the phone here. So this is what I'm using currently. So please do bookmark and follow me on this page as well. Paintology.quora.com. And there's of course Google Classroom as well, where you can find the link in the description. So we'll now head back to the app. This is my drawing I did yesterday of Ferdinand, and I'm going to exit out of that. Then okay, so I do stages. So remember, drawing in the traditional way, don't, when you install this app, don't go where you are comfortable with. Comfort is what makes you complacent. If you're too comfortable with something, you go to the drawer, click on blank canvas, look for the tools that you're used to, and then you decide, no, it's not for me. Yeah, that is why you will never reach the drawing levels that are that good artists have. Okay, so keep that in mind when you come here. Go head for the tutorials. Okay, head for the tutorials. I know you like picking a brush and just doodling and all that, thinking, oh, I've made this drawing before, so let me do another one. You'll be surprised with a bit of learning, like paint by numbers, for example, how quickly you can draw, like, for example, pick a drawing here. So you see the colors here, you can pick the red colors, just get a line brush, take it all the way up, just the brush, 4, right, then 5, pick these brush colors and then rotate, zoom, and then do a drawing just like that. That's actual drawing that I did, the actual reference on the top left. And you can find tutorials. If you're in the Paintology classroom, they will always specify a number. So 8478, let me show you. Do a search. There it comes. So because there are like over 800 tutorials, you don't want to wade through so many tutorials. The Google Classroom will get you there. So if you've come here, you are probably thinking, how on earth is he making paintings and drawing? There's something else I'm going to break. The myth that some people have is that this is a photo editing. I know it's hard for you to believe that I can paint at this level. Hard for you to believe, but this is, believe me, it's my own canvas painting. I'm not manipulating the photo. So before you quick to judge on that basis, try and sit through my whole tutorial like I'm going to do today. 2 hours to finish this drawing that I'm going to show you. This reference image there. George Seurat, his very famous painting now. Yeah. So this is the reference image. I'm not doing manipulation, digital manipulation. Please remove that out of your head. I am actually hand drawing this painting. I'm not taking that and manipulating it. Hand drawn. And the whole idea of doing it by hand is like you can draw and paint. And you can paint and draw and develop the skills that's necessary to make you excellent freehand drawing, this method. So if you think I only draw like this, check out my other videos. In fact, I'll show you where I've done freehand drawing. Let's come here, my artworks here. So this is a freehand drawing, but I did that without any aid tool there. I just looked at a reference. There's another one, you might recognize that. The great Marchiello, using all kinds of traditional airbrushes, pencil. I did that on my Paintology app using freehand, no trace. Notice there's no trace here. So if you're quick to judge on what I can do, it's another one. That, oh, he needs a trace always. You're quite mistaken. I've acquired the skills having done the training like that, you know. You have to train yourself. It's like, I'll give you an example, right? You ask a 100-meter athlete that he's going to run, do you ask him to go up and down 100 meters for the entire day? And that's all he does, he or she does, right? Do you say to him, okay, start 9 o'clock, I'll be back at 5 p.m. and you'll have done 200 of these runs? It's ridiculous, isn't it? That's exactly the way you are thinking about art because you don't know anything better. Yeah, they go through rigorous training, psychological, fitness, diet, you name it. They probably spend half or three-quarters of the time in the gym and probably rest in the track field, you know? So that's just an example I want to show you. Here is one, freehand drawing on grayscale mode. There's plenty, and there are videos of these paintings, so you're free to. This is my one I did, I call it the world's fastest photorealistic drawing. It's wonderful, isn't it? The feathers here, look at the detail. I did that 2.5 hours, looking at another reference, the image of an eagle. So there you are. So don't be quick to judge. That is what will hold you back. Plenty of examples. That will hold you back. So keep an open mind and go. And if you've got a master, or not a master, but a teacher in front of you, you got to pay full attention. Give your 100% attention. The problem I find with the new generation is they're a little bit arrogant. They think they know it all. They've got all the information from social media, and social media is full of trivialities. I would estimate 99.99% are trivial information with no historical data attached to it, just pure hearsay based on, what others are saying. It's nothing in depth that you can derive and learn, just like in painting and drawing, nothing in depth. They all go straight for the tools, and then they feel that they demand more tools, and that's what the app developers do. But me, I look underneath and try and understand more and go deeper and deeper until I offer you something which is far starkly different from anyone else. And if you tell me, well, you need tools to draw really fat, I can challenge anyone to pick a reference image without even the use of it and challenge them to a painting. I've done that many times. Nobody takes up my challenge because they all come here putting some of them putting down the app saying it hasn't got these tools, it's for babies. And I say, okay, I've drawn this. I challenge you to a drawing half an hour doing this landscape painting, and I never hear from them. You know, they're out the door. So I'm not trying to be cynical, but I'm just trying to tell you the truth. Dismantle whatever thinking you have about pertaining to digital, dismantle it. And then here are some people who come in and start manipulating this image. Really? Where's the manipulating tools here? I don't see any. These are like drawing stuff. Where's the image manipulation? So please don't be premature in your judging this app and drawing. So enough said. So I'm going to go straight and dive into the drawing. How would I want to get a painting and close to this? So the first thing is I look at the art piece, and I got quite a number of techniques under my belt naturally, right? So I look at this and I say to myself, look at this, so subtle. It's not, contrast is so subtle. There are even subtleties of that, of the river. See these marks? We need to try and capture that. And we can do that if we zoom in, right? And do it. So we can do it by bit using like our zoom. We can go hyper realistic if we want to using block coloring, but that's not the point. It's not going to teach you much. So I'm going to show you techniques, art techniques that you can apply freehand whenever you want to paint something or draw something that's in your imagination, or a beautiful landscape like myself that I like to replicate with my own skills, right? So this one is it looks almost like pointillism, isn't it? It looks like drawn as pen, but look at the shades. This is when you're going to understand tones, and I'm going to show you your understanding of tones. I'm guessing now, I'm settling on the method that I used yesterday for Ferdinand, the Keene Valley, Ferdinand's painting of the valley. So I'm going to settle on that. And the way I did that was I first of all picked a line brush, which is at the moment there, and then I'm going to try and do the main colors. You can see here the main colors are the ones. If you look at the way I paint and draw in traditional, you will see that I'm following very much like the traditional way of method of painting. As a traditional artist, when they're painting this on a blank canvas, they would first get all the hues and colors down, the main colors, and it would look nothing like, at all like the finished drawing. But they continue to build and build and build until they get there. That's exactly what I do, and that's exactly how I did the previous drawing. And in the space of 2 hours, you're probably like astonished at that, isn't it? Because I've got techniques under my belt, and these are the techniques I'm going to teach you. So the way you transfer colors, and this is no image manipulation, so remove that thinking out of your head. Image manipulation requires software features to transfer. I'm not doing this by transferring these colors automatically. I'm doing it by, but it's important that people mention that, because that's the way some people think. So the reference image colors can be obtained if you are in the top half here. So using the color picker, this is where everything, this is the most powerful thing. Think of this like the color pot, the paint color pot, you know? You can extract any colors from the reference image. So I've got a 27% line brush. Then I'm going to pick this color. And then I'm going to pick this color. Look, I'm landing. And then this color. And then this dark color there. Look, these are the colors I have picked and transferred to my drawing canvas, which I consider to be in this bottom half. So if I'm going to pick a color here and add my cursor here, what colors do you think I'm going to choose if I land somewhere here? White, of course, because I've got nothing in there. I'm going to pick color here. What have I got? White, of course. Now if I pick color there, look, go here and then pick a color, what have I got? The same color as the blue, right? Because I landed on the blue. But if I go up, look at the colors. I'm able to get the green, all the colors. I could go ahead and keep doing it in pointillism, but I'm not. The way I do it is that I pick the localized color of the reference image. I have a brush size, let's say 11%. Right. The smaller brush you have, the closer you're going to get to all the tonal values of that reference image, right? So you have to decide what brush size you're going to use. And I'm going to see if I'm going to first, I'm going to use this at 100%, 11%, that's fine, okay? So this is what I do. I'm going to keep selecting the color picker to get these colors. And then remember, the sky is not just blue. This is where beginners don't fully understand. You'll see how I'm going to take this color all the way down, and you'll notice that I've created the tones that George Seurat actually wanted in his painting. Darker tones. Look, see that? How I created the gradient of that sky? Exactly the gradient of the sky I was painting. So it's a smaller brush, so I've got more control over the color tones, whereas acrylic painters, oil artists, will have a lot more work in their hands in terms of selecting the tones. The tones are all selected for me by this wonderful color picker. Okay, and you'll see the amount of colors we picked in just that short period of time. All the colors. Look at that. You think they're all the same, they're not. That's just this little bit of that sky though. Notice that I'm keeping it tightly localized. So I want that color to be in that region and not beyond it. I'm going to zoom in and then I can see more of this painting. Yeah, I'm doing it along the top because the blue there is similar in tone. So you should know what tones are by now, but this is one way to appreciate tones. In fact, it's an excellent way. Before, tones and values are just purely academic, and many artists just talk about tones and values from an academic point of view, but never truly from a practicing point of view like I'm doing here. And that's all I'm doing, just capturing the essence. You notice that I went from up to there, and that was a mistake. I knew right away that was a mistake because the gradients are going down here, so you have to keep it very short, tight and horizontal to capture the full gradient of the tones. You'll know what I mean when you start doing it yourself. This is not an academic, it's a real way of these subtleties that he intended for this painting. I'm going to show you what I mean by the gradient of the tones. Look at this one here. This is what we got. Now notice when I use the same tone, let me pick a tone here and just do that. And you'll see that it stands out like a sore thumb. There, you see? Not like a sore thumb, but you can see that wasn't probably the best example. But see how I'm going to make it a little bit more two-dimensional. So that's three-dimensional now. So these are tones, and then you may be arguing, how are you going to make that gradient. Oh wow, that's the easiest thing in the world. I'll show that when I get to it, but right now I'm just putting down these wonderful expected tones that he has from his original painting. Right, look, if you see now that I'm actually getting very close to features that are a little bit smaller than the brush itself, so I'll leave them for now. Okay, so I'm just covering the tones the best possible. The yellow tones. Wonderful pictures, wonderful painting. It's been very well received in the art world. So I can see that the gradient of that leg, we can get all that, don't worry. But he does it very differently, so in fact it's too big, the brush is way too big, so I'm going to carry on with the bigger areas. So the idea is to work at speed. The more speed you have, the more you'll acquire the skills you're looking for in art. Yeah, you don't want to spend like all these hyper-realistic artists, just 3 months on doing one painting. I mean, where do you develop skills then? I think you can go to photorealism and be happy about it. Hyperrealism, I don't know, people go, wow. To me, that's not wow in terms of their art creativity or their art skills. Wow in terms of their ability to sit 3 months through one painting, little bit by bit. See the dark tones of this man, I believe, sitting down. Could be a woman, I don't know. See the dark tones are appearing here? It's interesting, isn't it? Every painting is different. And the more you do it, the more you get under the hood of these into the mind of these past great masters, No, woman. Could be, I'm not sure. It looks like a dress. So the line and the shade apparently is the most used brush that I've used in my painting. I'm going to capture this dog as well, isn't it? I mean, this is like a whole peaceful setting. It's not intended to evoke any emotion, just peaceful, isn't it? Let's see where we are. That's not bad. And then are there any bigger areas that we can do? Okay, let's go on this. Yeah, as we go down, pick the different tones. Okay, as you go down. Try and cover as much area as you can. Don't worry about the small details that you can see through the trace. Okay, I'm going to bring that rest to the point. Do you think I used image manipulation? Would you call that image manipulation, or would you call that painting or drawing that I'm doing right now? There are a lot of traditional artists. In fact, I was having a debate with one of them who says that, they've got a new word now. Digital art's got no soul. It seems to be the new trendy word. And I get annoyed when they say that. No soul. What? You're telling me the person who sits behind putting these strokes has got no soul? I once mentioned that, and then the woman realized it was offensive, so she retracted and said, "Wow, beautiful artwork." I don't think her computer did that, did they? So people are just too quick to judge. In fact, you'd be surprised that even the curators, one had a argument, not an argument, I just said, she kept saying, hasn't any digital art is a fad. Even an art curator, that is like crazy. An art curator should appreciate any form of art, even if someone used their blooming toes to paint it. And then they had the audacity to say, she was the one I think who said, that's got no soul. And I said, no, I disagree, and showed them my art. And he goes, yeah, exactly, it's got no soul. So she wouldn't even be bothered to find out how I did it. Would you call this using hundreds of digital tools, right? And obviously the color picker is going by itself automatically. Hey, color picker, just can you do all this for me, please? Go on. I'm gonna sit back now, and you keep doing it, all right? Yeah. Can you do that for me, please? Color picker, please. Go on. I'm having a bit of fun. Sorry. People are so quick, and then there's another one I had. Someone saying that you can't get the same beauty as you do in traditional. And then even they started using the word so. And then I just said, you know what? I don't want to argue with you. You obviously have no experience in digital, and you should not make judgments about particular medium unless you have expertise. I can talk about Photoshop as well, because I'm probably better than the majority of you guys, because I've been using it for 30 years, but I don't use it to draw. But I would never tell anyone to do digital art using photo, unless they, of course, because it's so, first of all, it's a beast. Secondly, it's going to it's going to probably put you off digital for good, man, because it's such a beast. And because it was undesigned for traditional people. If you like traditional, this is what you should be doing. I'm pretty good with it. Obviously, I just told you, Photoshop, I wouldn't use it for freehand drawing like this. Drawing that I've enjoyed as a kid. See how we're sort of getting close to the essence. What we've done is we've extracted the colors. I'm not worried about the details yet, we'll get there. And then I'm just laying down these wonderful colors. Look, back and forth. You know that I picked the exact tones and colors. And then when you do freehand, you will probably need to, when you do freehand, you need to pick these tones exactly as they are, but then you're using your own eye. So you're basically doing what traditional artists do, using your own better judgment. And that will be a big part of your skills. And then you pick these skills up by doing quite a lot of these type of drawings. Reduce it. So I went and reduced the brush size. So rule of thumb is always reduce by half. So I'm at 5.2%. You can see how I can fit into these smaller areas quite really easily. This is really fun. If you like paint by numbers, you're going to love this, you know. And I know a lot of people who did paint by numbers launched their art passion by doing paint by numbers, because I know I did. And that's how I got back into art. For the longest time, I thought I'd lost all my art skills since a little kid. Because I used to be good as a little kid. But then, you know, as you get older, you channel your energy to science. That's what I did, you know, and I never really contemplated art as a career, even though it's good. In fact, one of my art teachers came to talk to my parents, you know, when I was just, you know, about 16 or something, and said that you should really give produce a chance to do art, you know, take up art because it's good at it. I know I'm quite good. I've done a lot of traditional art recently, and I'm so glad that I picked it up again. That's all it matters. You know, for the longest time I was devoid, you know, I tried to pick it up, but I never really held the confidence. I think it's all down to confidence, and this method of painting builds that confidence, brings back that ability and confidence. Remember to save your work. Okay, so just in case something happens, see the colors that change of the hat? We're going to get to the dog as well now and get some of the tones down there. See how I'm sort of using, this is all tonal. Why they call it image manipulation? Isn't that good? Anyway, so another question that came to me, I answered recently in Quora was, why do you have people do art when one day it will all be gone? And I thought, for heaven's sakes, what world do they live in? A world where everything has to be spoon-fed to them, as is it? And then I said, I guess you're talking because you're not a practitioner of art. Because if you were, you wouldn't ask that question. And then I told him that then I was kind enough to explain to him, I do it because I'm passionate about it. Yeah, because got the I've got the keen and interest to do it, and I enjoy it. And I told him that the benefits of doing and picking up a skill as well. But no, I didn't get a reply, but You know what it is. Like people talking about. So again, sensationalism with AI. It's just total nonsense about AI art is going to take over. Why do you need to paint or why do you need to cook then? Why do you need to do anything? Why have you got brain, arms, and legs? You might as well sit in a vegetative state and do virtual everything. Let everything around you do. Maybe that's what some people want. But for me, the having the mindset and skills, having the mind given to us, endowed upon us, we should take advantage of it and the skills that we can learn and develop, right? I think everyone just wants the easy path. If you want to, you could read some poetry I talk about some of the famous writings, poems by the Path, and I've written one. I got some gold medals for that. This is the allpoetry.com. So check my name, Farouz, underneath. You'll find I've written about 300 poems in this year alone. How do you? I mean, okay, you can be a consumer. That's the, that's what I'm trying to say. People live in this highly consumer age where they have to consume but not necessarily do. That's the reason why I'm doing this, showing you this, offering this free for you guys, because you can now turn your thinking upside down instead of just following people, getting drawn into conversations, trivial conversation with no substance. Do the exact opposite. Take your mind off this madness and just lose yourself in doing this. You can play. That's why games are so popular, because you lose your mind. But then again, drawing, in my opinion, gives you the ability to create something. Game, you're not creating anything. Yeah, here you're creating something that can be appreciated, that you can appreciate. It may not be other people, but you're drawing something, your own creation. This is how far we've got. Look at that. We're not practically done, isn't it? I'm going to save this. I have to save drawings and then open it up again. My paintings is where your saved drawings are. And then D is where you open up your image. Oh yeah, we're doing good timing. I'm getting good at this. So I usually have a 10-minute break before I do part 2. So I'm carrying on with this brush and laying down these wonderful colors, that the same colors that he had for his canvas. Just thinking about, don't know if you've seen some of the Star Trek movies. There was one movie where Captain Kirk comes back to the planet in the 1990s to save the whales. You might have seen it, actually. Yeah, it was a series, and then they come across this primitive PC, and there's a mouse there, And then Scott, the engineer, he picks up the mouse and starts talking to it. It sort of reminds me of how probably what the world is looking for. Everything to be done with voice control, which we have right now. You know, like, except that I don't think Alexa can make tea yet, or coffee. But that's probably what people are looking for. I don't know what it is. It seems like people aspire to doing very little and try to do very little, you know, enjoy as much as they can, isn't it? I think the biggest satisfaction comes from doing things. I think there's such a great pleasure in doing things. Okay, we're going to have to hurry up. It's not as complicated as the other one where I needed to really speed up. You know, Ferdinand's Valley. This one is a little bit. Have we done this? I think we've done this, haven't we? This area. See, these colors are slightly different. There's some slight hue in this. So I'm just hurrying up. You can see my speed now coming into play. So you've got a lot of abilities. If you stay focused, you can speed up. I'm going to show you how it's done. There, we've got that here, that bit here. So this is like the bridge. It's a lovely bridge. It was obviously intended, wasn't it? So I'm going to select the tones, get the gist of the tones. I'm not going to worry about the details. Remember, I'm not at this stage, I'm just putting down foundational colors, just like you've seen all your traditional painters do as well, isn't it? There's a big gap there. I always try and follow the strokes, the direction of get into the habit of doing that. The direction of the colors, the horizontal. All right, let's see. It's not bad, is it? Now we got this around the neck of this. Just curious whether it's a man or a woman. Doesn't matter, but just want to know that the colors of the clothes should be a little feminine or whatever. See that? This the features of the eyes. It's much smaller than the brush we're using, so but like I said, we're not too bothered about doing anything, the details yet, okay? Let's have a look. Very nice, isn't it? And then here, so we're doing really well. I hope you got up to here as well. See how quick that was? It didn't take that long at all. Block coloring, that's what it's called. Anyone can do that. So much more fun than all these other apps that just allow you to click numbers and you're done, you know. Because most people are used to doing nothing. You know, that's the problem is they're not willing to put some time behind it. And there's so much joy one misses out when they don't do that. So here around the neck of this person, look at this person. We're going to get that detail. Look at that. You know, we're going to capture this detail. Right? We can still capture some of this, of his colors, of his hair, with the smaller brush, but it won't be as detailed. Obviously, his cheeks bones. All right, there, isn't it? It looks like the painting by George Seurat as he's starting at creating his award-winning painting. You know, it just looks like that in the first stages of his painting, doesn't it? I think it does. Anyway, so we're going to take a break, 10 minutes or so, less. And then if you want to hop on, join me for the second part where I finish this drawing, that'd be great. And please do subscribe to this channel. And then I'll meet you in 10 minutes on the other channel. And you'll see the link in the description for part 2. If not, go to the original Paintology.com page where I showed you how to access all the live streams collection, and then you'll see part 2 there as well. You know, just to give you a quick reminder, go here, there, this page, you see part 2. Oh, wow, look at all that. Part 2, there it is, part 2. All right, see you shortly. Thank you, and bye for now.